So, very good morning once again. And today I want to share something. Today is our 401st session since we started. Thank you. Thank you. And in this fourth cycle, uh, as I told you, that we are talking in phases, right? So, yesterday, phase two ended, which was all about execution, focus, and action taking. So from today, we are entering into the third phase where we will be talking about relationships and social intelligence, right? So that is our third phase. So I'm sure you will get good value even in these phases also. So let's begin with today's session. And uh, every single one of you, when you started attending today's session, I would say each one of you was carrying a story. Not the one you would tell me if I asked, but the real one. The one in the way you held your shoulders, the one in the glance you exchanged with someone, or the one in whether you sat near the door. And here's what's fascinating. You didn't say a single word, but you said everything. So today, I want to talk to you about something we all think we are good at, but most of us have never actually been taught. And once you learn this, I promise your relationships at home, at work, with your kids, with your colleagues will never be the same again. So, we are going to talk about reading people beyond their words. So, I would like to begin with this opening thought. There's a simple truth that took me a long time to understand. People reveal more through their behavior than through their words. Let me say that again. People reveal more through their behavior than through their words. We spend so much of our lives listening to what people say, but almost no time paying attention to how they say it or what they do when they think nobody's watching. So let me ask you something. Have you ever read a book only by its cover? Of course not. That would be absurd, right? And yet, that is exactly how most of us listen to people. We hear the words, we take them at face value, and we walk away thinking we understood the conversation. But just imagine your daughter comes home from school and you ask, "How was the day?" And she says, "Fine," one word. And you say, "Okay, good." And you go back to making your chai. But did you notice her school bag was dropped near the door instead of her room? She didn't go straight to her phone like she usually does. And when you asked, she didn't look at you. She looked at the floor. That is the real story. And it was never in the word fine. Now think about this. And of course, all the gentlemen in the room, this one's for you too. Your colleague is in a meeting. He's nodding along. Yes, yes, let's do it. He's agreeing with everything, but his arms are crossed. He hasn't made a single note. And every time his idea gets sidelined, he adjusts his collar and looks out the window. He's not convinced. He's performing agreement. And if you sign a project with him thinking he's on board, you'll be surprised later. Very, very surprised. And for the ladies who are homemakers, you know this better than anyone. You've sat with your mother in law who says, "No, no, I'm absolutely fine." But you can see in the tight set of her jaw and the way she's stirring the dal a little too vigorously that something is definitely not fine. The real story always lives between the lines. So, what do we actually look for? So, let me give you 5 things. These are simple, practical, and you can start using them today. One, tone of voice, not what they say, how they say it. Is the voice soft, clipped, rushed, flat? A person who says, I'm not angry, in a sharp, tight voice, is angry. Trust the tone, not the words. Number two, facial expressions. The face is the most honest body part we have because most of us forget to control it. A micro expression of contempt or a flash of sadness, it passes in less than a second, but it's there. Start watching faces, not just mouths. Number three, energy shifts. Now, this is subtle but powerful. Notice when someone's energy changes in a conversation. They were open, laughing, and then a certain topic came up, and suddenly they became quiet or louder or distracted. That shift, that shift is telling you something important. Number four, body posture. Yes. When someone is genuinely engaged with you, their body leans towards you. When they are uncomfortable, they create distance. They lean back, cross their arms, turn slightly away. You'll start seeing this everywhere once you know what you are looking for. Number five, consistency of behavior. Now, this is the most important one. One incident means nothing, but a pattern. That is the truth. If someone consistently says they'll call and never does, that's not forgetfulness. That is a message. Receive it. And as you observe, ask yourself 2 questions. Yes. If you want, you can note them down. What are they feeling right now? And number two, what are they choosing not to say? Let me say that again. What are they feeling right now? And number two, what are they choosing not to say? See, great relationships, the deep, meaningful ones, begin not when we find the right words to say, but when we learn to see beneath the surface. So let's do today's reflection exercise, your assignment for today. Just one conversation. That's all I'm asking. Yes. Today, whether it's with your spouse over dinner, with your colleague in the office, or with your child doing homework, be a silent observer for just a few minutes. Watch the body language. Notice the eye contact, of course, or the lack of it. Feel the energy in the room. And afterward, ask yourself this one question. What emotion was present beneath their words? And write it down if you can. You'll be amazed at what you start noticing. So I want to leave you with this. See, we live in a world drowning in words, messages, notifications, opinions, 1,000 words every hour. And yet, somehow, we have never felt more misunderstood. And that's because words are only the surface. Because beneath every conversation is a human being longing to be truly seen, not just heard, seen. So when you learn to read people beyond their words, you stop reacting and start understanding. And we always say graphology is all about. Instead of reacting, begin responding. And you can only respond when you understand. Otherwise, it will be missing. So you become the person in the room who makes others feel, oh, she really gets me. or he actually listened. The other person feels that you are actually an active listener. And that is one of the most powerful gifts you can give to the other person. So here is my call to action for each one of you. Today, listen less with your ears and more with your eyes, your instincts, and your heart. Because the most meaningful conversations, they often happen in silence. So with that thought, thank you. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Thank you.